Hello children. Last time we had studied about the ionic bond. Today we are going to talk about another type of a bond which is known as a covalent bond. Covalent bond is formed by sharing of electrons. Sharing of electrons. Now this happens when neither of the combining atoms loses the electrons due to energy constraints. This occurs mostly between two non-metallic atoms. When a non-metal combines with another non-metallic atom, then generally they indulge in sharing of electrons and result in the formation of a covalent bond. The compounds formed by the sharing of electrons are known as covalent compounds. Covalent compounds. We'll take an example. For example, suppose there are two atoms of hydrogen. Now both hydrogen atoms, I'm drawing the Lewis dot diagram, both hydrogen atoms have one electron each. Neither hydrogen 1 nor hydrogen 2 will be willing to give the electron to the other one. With the result, they will share the electron with each other and complete the duplet. This is how you show the sharing, where two electrons or the electrons which are being shared are used by the two combining atoms. Now this pair of electrons which is involved in sharing is known as bond pair. It is known as bond pair. One pair of electrons or one bond pair is represented by a hyphen. So you will say hydrogen, single bond hydrogen, and this results in a formation of a molecule called H2. There is no charge separation, there is no positive or negative charge on any of the combining atoms because both of them have equally contributed in the sharing of electrons. Similarly, if there are two chlorine atoms, then one chlorine atom will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 electrons. Another will also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 electrons. Now this chlorine atom will require one more to become stable, and this chlorine will also require one more to become stable. None of the chlorines will be willing to give the electron to the other one because they don't acquire stability. That does not serve the purpose. So 7 electrons this chlorine already has. It takes one more from the other chlorine atom and becomes stable. Similarly, this chlorine atom, 7 electrons it already has. It shares one electron with the other chlorine atom and results in the formation of chlorine, single bond chlorine. The single bond represents one bond pair of electrons. Okay, now it is not necessary that every time the sharing will be done only between one contributed from one electron from each atom. There can be more than one electron also which can be shared. For example, if we have two oxygen atoms, both the oxygen atoms have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons. Now in order to complete the octet, this oxygen will require 2 more electrons from the other atom. This atom is not willing to give the electrons to the first one, and the first one is not willing to give it to the other one. So ionic bond is not possible. In order to complete the octet, these two electrons will be shared, this one, and this pair of electrons will be shared. This results in the formation of a double bond, or there are two bond pairs, and this oxygen becomes stable. This oxygen also becomes stable, and since there are two pairs of electrons which are being shared, we represent it by two hyphens indicating a double. It is known as a double covalent. Covalent means the bond which is formed by sharing bond. This is an example where double covalent bond is formed. Now here the electronegativity of both the oxygen atoms is the same. So none of them pulls it more strongly towards itself. Hence it is a non-polar covalent compound. So what is a non-polar covalent compound? When the shared pair of electrons shared pair of electrons is equally distributed between two atoms, between two combining atoms. And the second criteria is there is no charge separation. None of the combining atoms has any kind of charge over them. Then it is known as a non-polar covalent compound. Okay, so the covalent molecule is always symmetrical and electrically neutral. These are the characteristics of a non-polar covalent compound. In contrast to this, if we take a non-polar covalent a polar covalent compound, polar covalent compound, here the compound will be polar when the shared pair of electron is unequally distributed between two atoms. I will just take an example and explain. And second thing is charge separation takes place. Charge separation takes place. Now the question arises that if both the atoms are sharing the electrons, why should there be a charge separation? Let's take an example. Suppose there is an atom of hydrogen indicated by 1 electron and chlorine atom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 electrons. Now both of them, none of them will be willing to give the electron, so they will indulge in sharing. Hydrogen only needs to complete a duplet, so it shares 1 electron with chlorine and completes the duplet. Chlorine already has 7 electrons, it has to complete its octet, so it shares 1 electron with hydrogen and completes the octet. Now both hydrogen and chlorine become stable because electronically they have either the 8 electrons in the outermost shell or 2 electrons in the outermost shell. Now the number of bond pairs is also 1. But out of hydrogen and chlorine, chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen. This one has 17 protons pulling the shared pair of electrons. This one has only 1 proton pulling the shared pair of electrons. With the result, the entire electron cloud moves towards chlorine, thus imparting a slight negative charge to chlorine. This means this is known as delta, and it means slight, little, slight or little. So it has a slight negative charge over it just because of the shifting of the electron cloud towards chlorine. Now since the entire electron cloud or the negative charge has moved towards chlorine, this develops a slight positive charge over it. So in spite of equal sharing within the molecule, we have a charge separation. One pole a little positively charged, another pole a little negatively charged. So this is what leads to the formation of a polar. Polar means two poles, positive pole, negative pole, and covalent because the compound is formed by sharing of electrons, and compound because it has more than one atom combining. So it is a polar covalent compound. So the polarity has developed because of the difference in electronegativity of the combining atoms. I hope you remember what is electronegativity. Combining atoms. Here chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen, so pulls the shared pair of electron more towards itself, getting itself slightly negatively charged, making the other end slightly positively charged, forming a polar covalent compound. Alright, so this is how polar covalent compounds are formed. Now we have seen how sharing of 1 electron or 2 electrons takes place. Let's take an example where 3 electrons are being shared. Let's take the example of formation of nitrogen molecule. Nitrogen is formed by 2 nitrogen atoms. Nitrogen has 3 electrons in the valence shell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5 electrons in the valence shell. And this nitrogen number 1 will require 3 more to become stable. So these 3 electrons are shared between the 2 combining atoms. Both the combining atoms complete their octet. Both the nitrogen atoms complete the octet, and there are 3 bond pairs. You represented by 1 bond pair, 2 bond pair, 3 bond pairs. And this is how a nitrogen molecule N2 is formed. This is also a non-polar covalent compound. So I hope you've understood polarity and you've understood how the bond pairs are formed. Now, is it necessary that always the same type of atoms form a bond, or is it that the covalent bond is formed only between the similar atoms, or can it be formed between different kind of atoms also? Let's take the example of formation of methane. In methane, there is 1 carbon atom. Carbon atom has 4 electrons in the valence shell. Now, see, when the sharing of electrons takes place, when the first electron is being shared, complete overlapping takes place. Complete overlapping takes place, and this bond is very strong. Okay, and this strong bond is known as a sigma bond. The subsequent bonds which are formed, they are formed by partial overlapping. Only partially they are overlapping, not completely. With the result, as compared to the previous bond, this bond can break easily. So this is relatively a weaker bond. And when the third bond will be formed, because there is no space or very little space, the overlapping will be very little. Okay, so the third bond is the weakest. It can snap very easily. So these 2 bonds which are weak, they are known as pi bonds. So whenever there is a single bond between the combining atoms, it is strong and it is known as sigma bond. When 2 bonds are formed, one is sigma, another one is pi. Pi is weak because it does not get enough space to overlap. And if there is a third bond that is also known as a pi bond, that is still weaker. So we understand that as the number of bonds keep on increasing, the strength of the molecule or the stability of the molecule keeps on decreasing because of the weak points in the molecule. So when we come to carbon, it is not expected that all the 4 carbon or the 4 electrons of the carbon atom will be shared with another carbon atom, because it is not possible to have more than 3 bonds between the combining atoms. As soon as the 4th bond will be formed, it will immediately snap, break, so it is not possible. So this carbon links itself with another atom, say hydrogen, on all the 4 sides. On all the 4 sides. Now this way hydrogen completes the duplet. All the hydrogens, they need to complete their duplet. Both the hydrogens, all 4 hydrogens complete the duplet. And carbon already had 4 electrons. It gets 4 more electrons from 4 different hydrogen atoms, and that is how the octet of carbon is also completed. You can represent it by hydrogen on all the sides. I would like to tell you here, children, that all the covalent compounds have a definite geometry. They have a definite geometry. What does it mean? They have a well-defined shape. For example, the molecule of methane will actually has a structure like this, where the bond angle and the length of the bond is fixed. These are the 4 hydrogen atoms. So this is how the structure of methane looks like. But in this class, we are not going to teach you about the geometry of the covalent compounds. So even if you are representing the methane molecule like this, it is accepted. It is understood. Okay. So we will presume that the structure of methane molecule is like this. Now you take ammonia molecule. Ammonia has nitrogen as the central atom. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrons in the valence shell. It combines with hydrogen on the 3 sides and thus completes the octet. Nitrogen already had 5 electrons. 3 more it gets from 3 hydrogen atoms, and this is how the octet of nitrogen is completed. Also, the 3 hydrogen atoms which are associated they are also acquiring stability. So all of them are stable. This results in the formation of a molecule called ammonia. Now if you are representing ammonia like this, it will be accepted, though it has a definite shape. We will not talk about the shape over here. So this was regarding the formation of covalent compounds. Kindly revise whatever we've done today using your book, and if you don't follow, please note down the questions and we will solve them in tomorrow's interactive class. Have a good day, children. God bless you.